The second Space Jam movie is hilariously and unashamedly just a massive promotion for HBO Max. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're doing well. In this video we are going to be reviewing Space Jam 2 or Space Jam A New Legacy, and can you believe it's been 25 years since the first Space Jam movie, and now we finally have a sequel which once again is combining live action with hand-drawn animation and CGI animation, which is really cool. Now there are some fun moments in this movie, however the questionable acting and the overburdening promotion, clear obvious promotion of HBO Max is a little bit too much. Now the reason that it's taken so long for this movie to finally get off the ground, as there were plans originally for a sequel way back when with Michael Jordan, however he didn't want to do it. They then explored some spin-off ideas with Tiger Woods, Tony Hawk and Jackie Chan, but all of them fell through as well, which is why finally 25 years later we have one with LeBron James, and there are some cool moments in this movie and I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. Now there are hints of a really cool plot in this movie. It just really is overstuffed with Warner Brothers IP, but like I said, there is still enjoyment to be had. Now this movie has a fictionalized version of LeBron James where he again is a very successful basketball player as he is in real life. Now his two sons, he wishes for them to become basketball players as well. However, one of them really loves IT and wants to go down that path. Now one day they go to Warner Brothers Studios to talk about a potential film deal, which is where the AI villain of this movie, who's hilariously called Algae Rhythm, captures them and transports them into the digital world. Now in the digital world, LeBron James must form a basketball team with characters within the serververse, not the Snyderverse, the serververse, and if he doesn't win the basketball game, he will be stuck, trapped in the serververse along with everybody else that Algae Rhythm has also captured forever. Now whilst it is a little bit much, it is really cool to see all of the IP from Warner Brothers. So for example, we have characters and worlds from Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, the Flintstones, Wacky Races, DC, The Mask, It, Lord of the Rings, King Kong, The Matrix is all here, and it is really wicked to see all of the different characters and the universes from all of these different franchises, which is really fun. Now from a positives point of view, like I said, all of the different cameos across all of the different universes are really great. They have the different Looney Tunes characters being in all of these different universes, and when you see the LeBron James character and Bugs Bunny traveling to all of these different places to reunite all of the Looney Tunes characters, those moments are really fun, and the stakes are definitely very high in this movie, and all of the Looney Tunes characters themselves are really funny. I mean, they definitely were the heart of the first Space Jam movie, and in this film as well, you definitely get to see the wide spectrum of all of the Looney Tunes characters. And like I said before, it is really heart-driven in this movie. It's really centered around the relationship between LeBron James and his son, and really accepting the path that his son wants to go down, even though it's different to the path that LeBron James has in his mind for that character. So that narrative, I think, is really well told across this movie. However, from a negatives point of view, I do definitely feel like they could have pushed the franchises so much more. I mean, some of them did get a little bit more screen time than others, but I just feel like instead of having a few little cameo appearances here and there, which ultimately was a little bit distracting, especially when there's so many in the crowd. I mean, it was nice to kind of see all of them, but it was a little bit distracting. I do feel like they could have given them a little bit more to do in this film. Also, certain moments were a little bit childish, but you know, I do get that this is a bit of a family film that is trying to cater to loads of different audiences, and I also think that they could have pushed the family moments a little bit further in this movie. But you know, all in all, from a storyline point of view, the second Space Jam movie is pretty entertaining. So from a cast and characters point of view, it is a little bit mixed in this movie, so let's go through them one by one. So first, of course, we have LeBron James, who is playing a fictionalized version of himself in this movie. Now his acting is a little bit wooden, especially in the beginning parts of this movie. However, he is a lot stronger as a voice actor when he's playing a cartoon version of himself, and his arc across this movie I think is actually really good in terms of his relationship with his son, and how he learns that actually his son can go on a different path to what he was imagining he would go down, and how he can actually embrace that for the better, which I thought was really, really great. And also his interactions with all of the characters in the serververse were really, really impressive. Obviously, Bugs Bunny is the main character that he interacts with, but you know, all of the characters actually within the serververse that LeBron James is interacting and liaising with are really, really great. Next up, we have Don Cheadle, who by contrast is absolutely outstanding from an acting point of view. You can really tell that Don Cheadle is absolutely loving this role. He is a little bit over the top with it, but you can just tell that he's really loving the fact that he can play this all and out villain in this movie. I do feel like they could have given him a little bit more of a motivation in this movie in terms of why he's doing what he's doing, because it is a little bit catastrophic for all of the human characters in this world. But you know, he does do a really good job in playing a really evil character. Next up, we have Cedric Joe, who is playing Dom James, who is one of the fictionalized sons of LeBron James. And in this movie, he is the computer whiz who is really always wanting to impress his father, but ultimately does rebel when he gets influenced by Algae Rhythm, who is the main villain of this movie, played by Don Cheadle. By the way, the Algae Rhythm name is a pun on algorithm, which I thought was really, really funny. But anyway, as far as the Dom James character goes, I thought it was really realistic how they were showing that this character is constantly searching for the validation of his father to the extent that he's willing to give up on his dreams to impress his father, which I thought from a character point of view was really, really interesting. And obviously what happens to this character towards the end of this movie is really, really interesting from a character arc point of view. Next up, we have Zendaya, who is voicing the Lola Bunny character. And I thought it was really interesting how this character found herself with the Amazons and with Wonder Woman as well. I feel like that sequence with Lola Bunny and with the Amazons and with Wonder Woman was really, really impressive, and also harked back to the opening sequence of Wonder Woman 1984 as well. And then we also have Jeff Bergman, who is playing the Bugs Bunny character. I feel like from all the characters within the serververse, this was definitely the character that they built up the most and had the most interactions with LeBron James. And this character is involved in a really interesting twist in this movie as well. We of course have all of the cameo appearances from all of the characters within the Warner Brothers suite of franchises in this movie, which is really pretty awesome to see all of them. And we also have some special cameos outside of that in this movie as well. So from a cast and characters point of view, whilst the acting from certain actors could have been a little bit better, all in all, from a cast and characters point of view, they're actually pretty impressive in this movie. So credit where credit's due, the visuals in this movie do honestly look pretty brilliant. I mean, there's three categories of visuals. First up, we have all of the live action sequences, and all of those are really, really great. I mean, if you took away everything else from this movie, the live action sequences are really great, and they really do hold up in terms of the storyline, the characters, and the world really, really well. Then, of course, we have the cartoon world, predominantly in Looney Tunes and in DC spaces as well, and all of those sequences look really, really cool. Then we have the CGI scenes, which looks absolutely brilliant. I know some people didn't really like the interpretations of the cartoon characters turning into CGI, but I actually thought it looked really, really great. I mean, of course, this movie has got loads of characters from all of the different franchises. From a visuals point of view, you know, it is a little bit overburdening, but it does look really, really impressive. And it is, of course, really enjoyable to kind of spot all of them. So from a visuals point of view, this movie really is absolutely brilliant. In terms of comparisons, this movie, of course, is a modernized pseudo/standalone sequel to the first movie. I would say this movie is stronger in terms of the visual department. However, the first movie will always be stronger in terms of the originality of the entire concept. You know, in terms of comparing it to other movie franchises that also use cameo appearances from other popular IPs, I would say that the Wreck-It Ralph first and second movie, as well as Ready Player One, definitely do it a lot stronger, as they do feature all of the cameo appearances, and they are really, really great for what they are, but they don't let it overconsume the entire movie and the strong narrative that all three of them are telling. They are, of course, really, really great to see in this movie. I just feel like they've been done a little bit more effectively in other movies. So overall, I would say, you know, with Space Jam 2/Space Jam: A New Legacy, whilst it's not going to be the best movie that you've ever seen in your life, it's definitely not broken either. Sure, the acting could have been a lot stronger, but if you just embrace it for what it is, which is a light-hearted pseudo-meta sequel that definitely doesn't take itself too seriously and is jam-packed with Warner Brother property references, then you are going to enjoy it and have a good time. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.